What in the heck is up, guys? I really appreciate you guys tuning into the content. I appreciate you guys watching the videos that I have to make. It really does mean a lot to have people go ahead and digest the content that I'm providing, that I say. It really means a great deal that anybody would take interest in what I have to say. I have enough trouble getting people around me in my immediate life to take into account what I have to say, and this is my outlet to just talk football, talk a little bit about sports, and it's a lot of fun. I'm going to pump out 3 vids tonight. We look at a Conor McGregor, crazy things in the UFC with the whole bus incident. Could it be a ploy? Could it not be a ploy? I think it's a ploy. I hope it's a ploy for Conor's sake, because it's better having him in the sport. But Dana White, crazy shit there anyway. Listen, we're a couple weeks to the draft. The playoffs are coming around. The Masters is a beautiful, beautiful week of golf, so I'm enjoying that. But I got a couple more storylines before we jet on out of here, and that is RG3 is a Baltimore Raven. And I know that I have a couple of guys on here that are friends, that are Baltimore Ravens fans, but to tell you the truth, when the Ravens pop up on the TV screen, I ain't interested at all. Joe Flacco is a guy that, unless he gets in the playoffs, he's just not a very good quarterback, and he's not a compelling watch. He'll throw the ball deep a couple of times. The owner there tried to get in some pop, with Mike Wallace last year. Ozzie Newsome. The Ravens are not terrible enough to be really fun to watch. Like, the Browns suck, so it's always interesting. What are the Browns going to do? The Redskins are always making kind of crazy moves with Dan Snyder. What's their offseason going to be like? Okay? The Bears, the Dolphins, teams in transition, the Colts. Those are interesting teams to watch. The Colts, that's a team with Andrew Luck that can either go to the playoffs or a team that it basically could be awful. So the Ravens are not compelling. I know they have Jimmy Smith on defense. They have a couple of guys they have a couple of defensive linemen, but really their defense is really the old group of Terrell Suggs and guys like that. They don't have a lot of A-listers on their defense, not a lot of household names, and their games are not really compelling to watch. Their quarterback play isn't outstanding. They have no wide receivers to speak of. Their running backs, who the heck is it? Alex Collins? I don't even know. I'll admit it, a lot of times on this show, you're supposed to sound like you know about rosters. I don't know a heck of a lot about the Baltimore Ravens and their roster. I just don't. I don't really know the tight end that plays for Baltimore. And what is it, Benjamin Watson? I mean, the Baltimore Ravens, and then last year in a dog shit AFC, they had a cupcake game where then John Harbaugh says that we're playing at 4:15. Oh my gosh, our people are not going to be able to go to New Year's. It's 4:15. Come on, it's a primetime game. The rest of the league plays in primetime. Your team is drier than a damn bone, Baltimore. I mean, who's watching Baltimore Ravens football? I don't think anybody's watching Baltimore Ravens football unless you're watching a fantasy team. Their Monday night game versus the Dolphins was just putrid. The Ravens-Steelers games are here and there okay. It's like 9-6, 12-9 sort of games. Just not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea is watching Ravens football, but heck, if they get more interesting, maybe I'll watch. And they just became, with this move, the most interesting preseason football team in the NFL. Robert Griffin III, unlike the rookies, this is his one shot. It's a one-year deal. If he goes out and balls out, then when there's another injury in the NFL, RG3 is going to be a viable candidate to either be traded or to be used. This year when Rodgers went down, instead of having an ill-equipped Brett Hundley, you can get a guy in RG3 that at least has a big arm. Now, has RG3 hurt a ton? Yes. Has he played a lot of football? Not that much lately. Does he have a little bit of talent? He does. I mean, he played at Baylor, spread system, really good under, I believe, Kyle and Mike Shanahan for 1 year, and then the playoff game happened. They were hosting Seattle, up 14-0. The rails fell off. They kept him on the field. And then he just has never been healthy. He's been gun shy. He has poor pocket awareness. He takes tons of sacks, tons of negative plays. And Kirk Cousins led the locker room better than RG3. RG3 was a guy who would sometimes be to himself, didn't own the locker room in Washington. And then with Cleveland, he wasn't very good. He wasn't electric. He's gotten opportunities. So it's good news for Johnny Manziel. It's good news for Colin Kaepernick. For Johnny, I like how Johnny's getting out and playing football. If Colin Kaepernick wants to come back in this NFL, he needs to play football. We need to see him throwing, working out, meeting with teams. And that's what Colin has to do if he wants to get back in the NFL. And right now, Johnny's starting to do a little bit of that. So it is hope for Johnny football. I mean, it really is, because RG3 hasn't really been on the radar for a long time, and the Ravens want to take a chance. And I thought that the Ravens' attendance would be down because I looked at just how boring their team kind of seemed to be, honestly, on paper. And I thought the Ravens wouldn't be compelling because usually they're somewhat the last team that you would select to watch a football game. And actually, their attendance is pretty good. Now, their owner, Steve Busciotti, I think his name is, he said John Harbaugh is on the chopping block. And that, to me, is one of the dumbest things I've heard from an owner in quite some time. Literally admitting that you were thinking of firing your head football coach and then not firing him at all. Almost like Paul Brown in Cincinnati. All the stupidity seems to run in the AFC North, I guess. So basically admitting that you're going to fire your head coach, how does that must make him feel? And then airing that out to the public so that Ravens fans know. I mean, that is the most uneasy relationship I can think of. I mean, is this relationship going to end well? Probably not. So probably not the best of ideas to say, you know what, I was thinking of absolutely firing John Harbaugh, but I did not. But yes, it crossed my mind, and yes, we are close to firing him. Does that sound like a place that you want to go to work at? I don't know. Just take a wild guess. I don't think so. So listen, RG3 coming in. It's fun. It's great for the league. It's great. I want to see a lot of these guys that I mentioned. I want to see them come back because that makes the sport damn more interesting, more tape to watch, more fun. And I'll review RG3 tape. I'll do it. Listen. Before I cut this last vid of the night, I want to say the New York Giants, I really liked what I heard at the press conference. We had Mike Shula and we had James Betcher. Betcher's from Indiana, town of 800 people. Just a grinder, loves football. And he basically said that this 3-4 thing is just kind of a myth. It's kind of a mythology. He says he does want to do 3. He does want to play 3-4, but the most important thing is fitting guys where they're comfortable. So it's about adapting scheme. They might be rushing guys differently. They might be rushing 4, 5, 6, dropping 8. He says that the scheme is predicated on the skill set. And it's not, could this guy fit into a scheme? It's fitting the scheme to the skill set. And the guy will go 4-3 or go 3-4. He'll mix it up. They're going to mix it up and be unpredictable all the time. It's not like the New York Giants and their players just have to stick to this complete script. And if you're not a 3-4 guy that you can't fit, Betcher's going to make you fit. If you're a talented 4-3 edge rusher, you're going to fit. Now, I know Pierre-Paul was dealt, but I really think that Pierre-Paul was getting older. He wasn't as talented off the edge as he has been. And this is good that the system isn't as rigid. Also, when you heard Mike Shula speak, he gave credit to Pat Shurmur, said he wanted to be an extension of Pat, which is exactly what he should have said. He wasn't stepping on Pat's toes. He wasn't being the head poncho here, okay? He wasn't stepping up and completely and utteringly taking over the New York Giants. That was a bad word choice. I should have just quit that while it was there. But he's not just standing in front of the podium and he's not just completely taking over the ship. The guy seems to care about his players, how they are as men, and he really gave thoughtful answers. And Ben McAdoo was a complete dickhead with the media. He would give these one-word answers like, "How are you, Ben? I'm good. How's the team looking? We're practicing. We're going to execute. We got to execute better. We got to play better in all three phases of football. That's not a personal answer. That's not like saying good question and then going in depth, okay? Mike Shula went in depth. He said he says that his offense wants to be unpredictable. He says that he wants to run the football creatively. I know he can't tell you with literally his schemes, but he was very polite to the reporters. He talked about Odell Beckham and how special a player he thinks he is. And he really gave thoughtful, long answers. And that's refreshing to see because we just had the biggest dickhead in the world as the head coach of Ben McAdoo. And Ben was a guy who treated people like a prick. And he didn't even see, it's not even like he was shy. He was brash and flat out mean to the reporters. So to see James Betcher, who has a heart of gold, who says he wants to play Giants football, get back to physical toughness, Betcher was absolutely incredible. A beautiful press conference. How he said we want to play Giants football. We want to play high character. We want to bring guys to the ground. We want to play with physicality, toughness, and be professional on and off the field. He loves working with Gettleman. Shula seems like he's going to be a very nice addition to Pat Shurmur. It's not like Gettleman and Shula like I thought before versus Shurmur. Right now it's honeymoon. Everybody's getting along, and I couldn't be more proud, really. I'm much happier and prouder to support this coaching staff. I'm always going to root for the Giants to win games. The manner in which their coaching staff and the ownership was treating Eli Manning and players last year was flat out sickening and unacceptable. And now the team that you root for, you can have more pride in that the guys at the top of the board at least have class, at least care, and at least are going to do things in the right manner. Let's hope it's successful on the field. So anyway, that's kind of my rant. RG3 coming back. Some NFL hot stove topics. And we will see. William Gay gets signed to the New York Giants to help out secondary, an experienced guy that, again, Dave Gettleman wants to bring in. So I thought that's a decent signing. I like what's being done here. Saquon and Chubb coming into the house. No Josh Rosen. And I hope that one of them is drafted by the Giants. So good luck to those guys this weekend for sure. Alrighty, guys. Enjoy the Masters. Enjoy your weekends. I will see you all maybe very soon. Take care.